Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Dana of the Dead. Today I'm going to be discussing the recent M. Night Shyamalan film, Knock at the Cabin. This film is actually based off of a novel by Paul Tremblay called The Cabin at the End of the World. The film has a runtime of 1 hour and 40 minutes and it is rated R. If you're ready, let's just get right into it. Now, I first want to start out by saying I've seen a few reviews of this film after watching it, and the pronunciation of his last name is laughable as hell from almost every account. So M. Night Shyamalan childhood home that he grew up in is extremely close to where I live. But let's just say having a director that is so close to where you grew up and the Philly base is pretty cool. You feel like a slight connection. And especially with such great films as Sixth Sense and Signs and, that being filmed in Bucks County. And, like Split, another one I really like, showing Elmwood Park Zoo. It just feels very close to home. So I've always really appreciated him no matter what. And it's always very exciting to see a film by him. A description of Knock at the Cabin is while vacationing at a remote cabin in the woods, a young girl and her parents are taken hostage by four armed strangers who demand they make an unthinkable choice to avert the apocalypse. Confused, scared, and with limited access to the outside world, the family must decide what they believe before all is lost. So, before I went into this film, I didn't know anything at all about it besides a couple vacations at a cabin. I didn't know the cast, I didn't know anything else. To start with the cast, the opening scene has Dave Bautista, and I've never seen Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't watch wrestling, so I didn't know who this guy was, and he's one of the first people on screen. And I was like, holy shit. Like, this guy's fucking huge. We also have Jonathan Groff, who plays Eric. We have Ben Aldridge, who plays Andrew. Andrew and Eric are married, and they adopted Gwen. I didn't even know that Ronald Weasley was Redmond in this film. Watching the whole thing, movie's over. I, start to Google stuff and realize Ron fucking Weasley was in this film. We have Abby Quinn, she plays Adrian. We have Nikki Amuka Bird, she plays Sabrina. That's the basic main cast. Now, the opening scene with Dave Bautista's arrival on screen, and when it's unnerving and it's uncomfortable. I didn't want it to go into a direction that I was feeling it was going, and I was very uncomfortable with that. Dave Bautista's character, who plays Leonard, he kind of gives you the idea that him and this group are about to come do something, and it kind of makes you know he kind of is coming from a place of good, but you are being told what's about to happen. And I kind of wish that M. Night would have just cut that out and gave us a little bit more of background on the family, like had them, just hanging out, enjoying vacation, and then all of a sudden there's a knock at the door. You think we could get like a 15, 20 minute like intro into them that would make it a little more unsettling. With the R rating, I think there should have been a lot more gore. I think that everything should have been shown to intensify the film because it falls a little flat after you know why they're there and what the pecking order is and what they're doing. It just kind of goes at a flat rate. Throughout the film, you're kind of bouncing around in your head if it's real or not. So Eric and Andrew, the fathers of Gwen, they are all bombarded by Leonard's huge ass and then the three other ones, all with weapons. And they kind of break in and face them with this very far-fetched, delusional sounding pitch that one of the family members has to sacrifice the other to stop the apocalypse. Once I heard the word apocalypse, I was like, oh. I'm not one that's big on apocalyptic type films. They definitely teeter on the conspiratorial and action side of things. I will say the opening sequence, I liked it a lot. I liked the score of the film. I loved the cinematography. There were some really great angles, really great shots, and I'm a huge nature nerd, so I love anything based on a cabin in the woods. So Wen is the little girl. She's played by a little girl, Kristen. It's her first film she's ever been in. And I think M. Night definitely does a really good job at casting kids. She just did so well. She was so adorable. I just loved it. So with the book, I heard that the ending is completely different than the ending of Knock at the Cabin. And I know that it was kind of kept on the hush hush to reveal that this film was based off of that book. I've heard from people that have read the book that the book is better, which is 90% of the time the case. I think there's definitely some things that M. Night should have done different, us getting to know this family, because we don't get to know the family. And I feel like if we did, we would have more of a connection. You do build a connection, but it could have been pre-built, and then the knock at the cabin and the intrusion would have been a lot more impactful, in my opinion. I definitely think this film would fall more on middle tier M. Night film. I don't think it was bad. I just think a few tweaks could have made it much better. I would give this a view. I would see it in theaters, or wait till it comes out. Either one is fine, honestly. Um, it was a decent film. All right, guys. So thanks again for sticking around for another one of my reviews. I hope you enjoyed it. So if you wouldn't mind licking that like button and rubbing your ass up against that subscribe button, comment some really mean stuff because I love that shit.